talking about today is how to kind of learn the language of music, how to kind of speak the language, understand how it works, and develop it in your hands, get some motor skills. So a lot of people learn blues scale and then it's kind of like good luck, figure it out on your own. But what I kind of want to show is how I think about it, because I think there's some things that I've kind of, the way that I understand it, I think is a big part of the way that I play, and I think intuitively a lot of great guitar players know this, whether they understand it or not. So I kind of want to break that down and show you what I mean. Okay, so a lot of people talk about the box. All right, so we're going to look at what the box is, and I'm going to use some of the language of numbers with music and define what I mean with this box. It's the minor pentatonic blues box, and you know, basically the box just means it's like you got your first finger kind of being like a pivot, and then you got your third finger here that can, you know, play off of that. So that's kind of what defines the box, and you can use the box for so much, and it becomes the basis of a lot of things that you do while you're playing. So what we want to do is look at the numbers here. So right now I'm talking about C sharp minor. That's the chord there. I'm on the let's see, I'm on the 9th fret, so I'm playing an E minor shape on the 9th fret, and we're going to be learning basically how to play C sharp minor blues. Okay, so with this scale here, I got my third finger right here on the root, C sharp, and what we want to do is figure out what are the numbers of this box. Okay, so got my third finger on the root, right below it is the flat 7, so I got the flat 7 root. Underneath the flat 7 is the flat 3rd, and then underneath the root is the 4th. Okay, now there's really only 2 box shapes, and this is one of them. All right, so flat 7 root, flat 3rd, 4th. Okay, now when you get to the 4th, you got to slide, and no matter what shape it, you know, whenever you're in this shape, to get to the next shape, you slide your finger up here on the 4th to the 5th, and then your first finger is on the 4th, and this becomes kind of the basic, like the pivot of the next box. All right, so we got 4, 5, flat 7, root. And what you'll notice is the flat 7 and the root, it's just the octave. So basically the bottom part of the second box becomes the top part of the next box. All right, so it just repeats, but you want to understand that relationship. All right, so right here, this is the second box that I just mentioned. This is the 4, 5, flat 7, octave. All right. So now we got these 2 boxes here. Flat 7 root, 4, 5. Flat 7 root, flat 3rd, 4th. Okay, slide up to the 5th, and then you got your 4, 5, flat 7, root. So this hurts my brain to talk about the numbers like this, because even for me it's counterintuitive, but we want to understand this conceptually because it helps give us some structure for what we need to get in our hands. We need to get this in our hands so much that it becomes second nature to us. And that's really the reason that I like to focus so much on music theory, which a lot of times seems abstract to people, but it helps give you things to get in your hands, okay? Because once it gets in your hands, you can start to do it without thinking, and that's kind of when, it's like right now we're like this plane driving around the runway, but once it gets in your hands and you start to feel it, the plane takes off, so that's where we're going with this. All right, so I'm just going to run through that shape, and also I'm going to show you something kind of cool. So It also gives, you know, when you learn to connect it, these two boxes, that's when it becomes even cooler. All right, so flat 7 root, flat 3rd, 4th, 5th, slide that 4th up to the 5th, and then you got your flat 7th octave. Okay, now we're going to keep going, and we're going to do the octave of the previous one here. So flat 7 root, flat 3rd, 5th, and we're going to follow that same principle. When we get to the 4th, we're going to slide it up, and then our root, or sorry, our 4, 5, flat 7, oops, there's the octave. So this is like a version of a box, but it's kind of funky because of the B string being tuned a little different, being tuned to a 3rd instead of a 4th. So it kind of gets broken there. But it's the same idea. Same idea is what was previous. All right, so let's start again. So flat 7, root, flat 3rd, 4th, 5th, flat 7, octave. All right. So now we got the octave, the flat 3rd, the 4th. When we get to that 4th, we're going to slide up to the 5th, and then we got our middle finger, flat 7, octave. And then check it out, we got another box here. I'm going to use my first finger right here. So flat 7, root, flat 3rd, 4th. And if we want to keep going, we can. Whatever that is. Oops, messed up there. Missed my train there. Okay. Now, that is the box. Okay, that's people call it BB King box, and he uses that a lot in his playing. And yeah, it's a big blues thing. Now, we're in the box, but how do we get out of the box? Okay, getting outside the box is even though we only have these 4 notes. And, you know, we got these 2 different boxes, and we only got a couple notes within each. But how we get outside the box is bending the notes. Okay, so we're going to talk about that right now. So here we go: flat 7, root, 3rd, 4th, 5th. All right. Now, first note bend I want to show you is if we bend the 5th, we get a flat 6. It's a half note bend, so the flat 6 is right there. But we want to bend it. 5, flat 6. Okay? Kind of cool, right? I'm bending it down, all right? So, right there we can get a flat 6. So right here, so I got my 5, so flat 7, flat 3rd, 4th, 5th, flat 6, that half step bend. All right. So I'm on the 5th here. I think I'm on the 5th. Now right underneath there, flat 7. Okay, so I got my octave here, my C sharp. Okay. Now we're gonna do a whole note bend, and this is gonna take us up to the 2. 1, 2, 1, but we're gonna do a whole note bend. All right. 1, 2, 1. That's a whole note bend. All right. Then this is, I think, the most useful one. So 1, flat 3rd, 4th. Oops. This is supposed to be up to the 5th. So I go up to the note to hit it first, and then I'm going to bend up to it. This is why I think it's so important to learn to tune your guitar by ear, because it helps to train your ear. In music, really, it just comes down to timing and tone. And when I say timing, it's the ability to feel things, feel the time, feel the rhythm. And with tone, it's the ability to feel the tones, all right? So you want to learn to feel that tone. Sounds not always perfect, but that's kind of what makes it fun, you know? 4, 5. So I'm bending from the 4th to the 5th. Okay, so what we've learned so far is flat 7, root, flat 3rd, 4th, 5th, getting that flat 6 by bending a half note. Then we got the flat 7, we got the root, octave, bend it up to the 9. Or the 2, you know, 1, 2, or octave, which is 8. Octopus is 8 legs. 8 up to 9, all right? Okay, and then we got the flat 3rd, 4th, 5th, 4th, flat 3rd, 1. Okay, so this is the riff right here. I can't even help it. I automatically bend this 3rd. It's just like a blues habit or something. So it's like 5, let it down, 4, flat 3rd, 1. 5, 4, flat 3rd, 1. Okay, now this is a little bit of a phrase, all right? So, yeah, we're basically just walking down 5, 4, 3, 1, 5, da, da, da. All right. Now, this is where I want to talk about the chord tones, okay? The notes as they relate to the chord, okay? So a chord is, another word for a chord is a triad, all right? So we've been using all these numbers to talk about the scale, all right? But the same notes that are used for the scale are also used for the chords, all right? So the most important notes, the notes that build up the triad are the first, the root. They're the same thing. The root and the first are the same thing. So the root, the 3rd, and the 5th, okay? So a lot of phrases will start with on one of the notes of the triad and finish on a different note of a triad. Or they'll finish on a triad note of the chord that the phrase is going into. And that's what we're going to explore next. Okay? But for right now, we're just going to focus on this triad phrase just going through one chord. Okay? C sharp, okay? Okay? So in the C sharp minor blues, C sharp is the 1 chord. Okay? And we'll talk more about that in a second too. But so the C sharp minor triad phrase is, it starts on the 5th, 4, 3, flat 3rd. I say 3 for short for now because we're kind of in it, and it's too many syllables to say flat 3rd. We don't got time for that. So 5, 4, 3, 1. All right. So that's the phrase that while the 1 chord is happening, while the C sharp minor chord is happening, which usually at the beginning of a 12-bar blues, there's like 4 of the 1 chord, 4 C sharp minors, all right? All right? Da, 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 do. That's your phrase, all right? Now, we can, to give it some variety, because if you just do the same thing over and over again, people are like, all right, I'm going to go to the bathroom. This part of the song's boring. But if you keep the variety going, it's keeps it interesting. So what we're going to do is, the first time we do it, we're going to end on the root. We're going to end on the 1. But the second time we do it, to create an alternate version, we're going to end on the 5, which is, we're going to go back up. So it's like 5, 4, 3, 5. All right, so now it's a phrase that's a little bit different. It's like 5, 4, 3, 1, 5, 4, 3, 5, both over the 1 chord, okay? So now you can hear da 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 da. That's our phrase. Okay? Now the next chord, the 4 chord, is whatever this chord is. It's an F sharp minor. That's the 4 chord. So this time we're gonna start the phrase the exact same way, except we're gonna end it on the 4th. Okay, we're gonna take it down on the 4th. All right. So it's like 5, 4, 3, 4, and then it goes back to the 1. 5, 4, 3, 1. Okay, now we're actually going to the 5 chord, so we're going to do that same alternate riff that we used in the first, but it's actually ending on the 5, which is perfect for the 5. So 4. All right. So that's basically it. All right. Everything we're talking about, we got this box. And then we got just a really simple part of the box, and just using it to create a phrase. Okay. So I encourage, when you're playing something, rather than just playing all these notes, I mean, it's good to play around to get comfortable with it, but to start thinking of a phrase and really try to, repeat it a bunch of times so that you really feel it and it stops becoming so rote, it becomes more fluid and more expressive. And so that's a big part of this, is that we want to, the reason that I like teaching the blues and teaching this idea is because it's something that you can start with you don't have to learn a lot to be able to kind of cross over into playing a little bit more intuitively, a little bit more feeling. It's a really simple concept that you can understand, you can get it in your hands, and you don't have to work that hard for it start to become something that you don't have to think about. And I think that's why a lot of people start out playing the blues. It's a great way to start speaking the language of music in a musical way. You're not putting it into words, you're playing it as music. Okay, so I got a jam track here that I made, and I'm gonna play it for you. Ready to turn around here. Coming back on the 1. About to start over here. Here we go. Alright, it's the first time. Very simple. It's like your do re mi. First time right there. Still on this 1 chord. 5. Coming down on 4, let it down softly. Back to the 1. Alright, I'm going to play the chords this time. You take a turn. Come up on that 4. Here, we're already at the 4, sorry. Back to the 1. Starting over, here we go. Coming up on that 4. Back to the 1. Up to the 5. 4. Back to the 1. Alright, I'm going to show you how it goes again. Five, 4, 5. 5, 3, 4. 5, 4, 1. 5, 4, 5. Let it down soft down to 4. Using that box there. Tell all my students to sing. Because if you can hear something and you can hum it, you can sing it, and you can learn to play it. Alright, your turn. Up to 4. Alright, sing it with me. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. I hit the 9 there. That's cool sound. That sounds like David Gilmour. Alright. So there you have it. You got some food for thought there. Get this... get that in your hands, learn the phrase, and you know, let it get in you, and let it take on a life of its own. Play it a bunch, play it every day. All right, thanks for tuning in.